okay, you wanna fish heavy cover, you'll have to punch your way in there with a big, heavy weight. So if I'm driving down the lake and I see something that looks like this overgrown drainage pond back here, it's got stuff growing up out of it, that is what you're gonna wanna punch. Anything that covers the surface, whether it's grass like hydrilla, milfoil, any of that kind of stuff, that's what you're gonna punch. So you wanna know 3 secrets in order to catch those fish by punching. I think it's pretty well covered as far as, you're using heavy weights, ounce, ounce and a half, up to 2 ounce weights, and then you're gonna have a straight shank hook, and then you're gonna have a creature bait like this Missile Baits D-Bomb right here. We're not talking about that. There's no secrets about that kind of stuff. The secrets, number 1, is by far the proper hook set. And what I mean by the proper hook set is that, you're gonna pitch your bait over into this mess, and your bait's gonna go under that matted stuff, and then you're gonna get a bite. This is not a regular flipping scenario where you're flipping next to a log and you've got 3/8 ounce weight. That big weight causes major issues with those fish and their mouth and how that bait hooks up inside of that mouth. So what you're gonna have to do is reel up all of your slack. Make sure you don't have any slack. And then you're just gonna basically kind of pull them, snatch them out of the cover. You don't wanna drop your rod tip and then crack them, because what that's gonna do is pop those fish's mouths open. What you're gonna wanna do is get a little tension so it turns that bait around in their mouth, get a little tension, and then you're gonna just pull, jerk as hard as you can. So I think you may have seen from those videos a little example of what I'm talking about. The proper hook set, far and away, is the number 1 mistake I see amateur anglers making when they're gonna try to catch fish punching into cover. Number 2 secret, I would say, is that they have the wrong rod. Most people don't carry a rod that is strong enough and has enough power in order to heave an ounce, ounce and a half, or even to 2 ounce weight in and out of cover, and then you're going to be bound up when you hook grass on it, or you hook a fish under grass, so you're pulling up bass, grass, and all. You're hooking it all up. You need to have at least a 7/6. I would say a 7/11, but this is a cash and punch rod. It's a heavy action. There is a ton of power in this rod. That is big right there. Make sure your rod has enough power and has enough leverage. This rod also has counterbalance weight. So when you get to a bigger, heavier rod, counterbalance weight makes a big difference, because see, I'm just balancing that rod right there under the reel where I would hold it. And what that does is it allows you to fish a bigger rod without having the burden of picking up the tip and holding it up as you're trying to fish that weight. The right rod, very, very, very key. You can't substitute, a shallow cranking rod, or you can't substitute a jerkbait rod for a punch rod. Doesn't work. Not even a 7/3 medium action or a medium heavy action. That ain't gonna cut it. You need 7/6 minimum heavy or extra heavy action. Big deal, big deal on having the right rod. So that's number 2. Number 3 is one that I wanna tell you about, but I'm only gonna hint about it. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll give you 3A and 3B, if that makes any sense. 3A is that when you're punching that weight and that bait, and you get it into the cover and you pull it out, when you pull that bait out, don't let your weight and the bait hit the water or hit the top of the mat or matted stuff or whatever you're trying to fish. I think that spooks everything in the area. You pull that big heavy weight out there, don't let it go squoosh and just go right into the water when you pull it in, because every fish within 20, 30 feet, they hear that. They know that something's going on, something's not natural. A lot of times in these matted areas that you're gonna be punching your weight through, those fish are right up under those mats. They're not 20 feet deep. to where you can throw whatever and let it hit the top of the water. They are just under the surface. So if you splash something relatively close to them, it's gonna spook them. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. So that's kind of 3A. That's something I wanted to mention there. And then I would say 3B, is anytime that you've ever fished braid, you've gotta have braid if you're gonna be punching this kind of stuff. If you're gonna do fluorocarbon, you can get away with like a Sunline Shooter 25 if you just feel like you need to try to get a few extra bites, but I really feel like that the Sunline X Plasma is so smooth, you don't really need to go to fluorocarbon anymore, and you're gonna hook up and catch a lot more of those fish. But that braided line, it will vibrate on you as you're running down the lake. And we all know what happens when it vibrates on the reel. All of a sudden, it gets a little longer and gets a little longer, and next thing you know, that bait is bouncing all over the front deck of the boat, and it's gonna get all hung up, and it is a pain in the butt. So what I do, no matter if your hook keeper is down here or if it's up here, I take a Velcro keeper, just like this right here, and then you wanna cinch it tight right over top of the weight so that no matter how loose this line gets, look, my bait's still not going anywhere. Oh no, it came loose. No, it didn't. It's tied up right there. That saves you a lot of time and energy and frustration out there on the water. So those are my secrets for catching bass, punching into that heavy cover that looks just like this jungle right here behind me. So take those secrets, incorporate them into your punching, go out there, make sure you have the right rod, and it is a lot of fun to catch those bass out of those matted stuff, whatever you want to say, thick stuff. Get them out of there, it's a lot of fun.